Ah, it's finally here. It is finally time to implement Power Doritos. And I'm really excited to do this because we have a lot of cool abstractions that is going to make this really easy and make this go really smoothly. So, the problem we're facing in this episode is creating a Power Dorito. And there's three levels of Power Doritos. There's small, medium, large, as you can see here. Here's the small, medium, and large. And what these little buggers do is they just jump around and bounce off walls, bounce off the ground. It's pretty fun to watch, and I mean, this is like a cornerstone of the game. Like, if the game didn't have Power Doritos, I don't know if it would still be a success. Yes, I'm willing to go that far. This was a big thing for Cave Story. So the solution is we're just gonna implement a sprite. I'm gonna do it in three parts. We'll implement the sprite first, and it's just inside of this NPC sim, 6 frames. We'll do like 14 frames per second or whatever, but we'll have to do a different sprite based on whether it's small, medium, or large, and that'll be the only thing that will change is our Y value. And then we'll need to create a timer after that so that we can kill our Doritos if they last longer than 8 seconds, and then they also start flashing around 7 seconds. Then we'll need to take care of motion, which means we'll need to implement map collidable privately, and then we'll have some X motion, which is just going to be some frictions because it slows down as it's traveling left and right, and some Y motion, which is just going to be gravity because yep, these guys are subject to the laws of, or some laws of gravity. And then we'll need to take care of on collision, where if it hits on the top, we come to a complete stop. If it hits on the bottom, then we bounce back at some fixed speed. And then if it bounces on the left or right, then we just reverse directions. And then finally, we'll need to create our simple collision rectangle to help with this, but the width and height changes depending on if you're small, medium, and large, and the different widths and heights are 16 for the small, and it'll just be a 16 by 16 centered collision rectangle, and then 24 for the medium and 32 for the large. So without any more ado, let's get started. So I should probably also mention that this Power Dorito is going to be a pickup. So let's call it add a new item. We'll need a header file and a CC file, but we'll call it Power Dorito pickup.h. And add another one for CC. And header guards. I'm going to copy and paste our interface so that we can just implement that. So let's include pickup as well. I'll include pickup. We'll make a Power Dorito pickup. Make it inherit from pickup. We can get rid of the virtuals. We don't need the virtual destructor. And then I'll see. We're going to implement. Let's get rid of pickup type too. We'll implement collision rectangle in the CC file, draw in the CC file, update in the CC file, value in the CC file. Pickup type, we can just do it inline here, and this will just be return experience. And I'm also going to make another enum to store what size of Dorito. So enum size type small, medium, large. And since I'm going to use these to index, I'm going to explicitly set them. I don't need to, but I like to do that just to indicate that these are meant to be integer values. so that I can use them to index. So let's go into our CC file and implement these, if not just an empty implementation. So this will be let's start with values because that's pretty easy. Do const units of experience, gun experience, k experience, or k values, and this will just be equal to, it'll be an array and equal to 1, 5, and 20 depending on our size. So let's give ourselves a size to work with. So we'll return k values subsize. Next, let's work on the sprites. So I'll create some constants for this. Const standard string k sprite name. This will be npc sim k source x. Let's include string. So k source x, which will be, I guess I'll do tile units, so units of tile k source x equals 0. K source y's plural. This is going to be 1, 2, or 3 depending on our size. K source width and height, so width and height. These are both going to be 1. Let's give ourselves a constructor. So what are we going to take in for our constructor? Power Dorito pickup. Units of game center x. Units of game center y. And then we'll also want to take in a size type. We'll give ourselves a random velocity as well. Size type, size. So let's give ourselves some more stuff to work with. We need kinematics x and y, so kinematics x. I need to include kinematics. And yeah, let's implement our constructor now. Oh, also let's make a sprite. So let's include animated sprite as well. I'll just put this at the top, bottom, middle. Doesn't matter. I'll just call it sprite. Now let's implement our constructor. So kinematics x, we will set it to be at center x minus half a tile. And we'll give ourselves a random velocity. I'm just going to do some random, I'll show you what it looks like. Rand modulo 11. This will give us a number between 0 and 10 inclusive. Minus 5, so this will give us a number between -5 and +5 inclusive, and then just multiply it times 0.025 to give us a random velocity. So that'll take care of kinematics x. Kinematics y is going to be center y minus half a tile, and then the same velocity deal. And then we also need to create our sprite, which is going to take in a graphics, so that's another thing we'll need to take into our constructor. sprite gives it graphics, k sprite name, k source x, k source y's, giving it size, k source height, width, then height, k source height. Then we need to create a k FPS, so const units of FPS, k FPS, this will be 14, and then num frames, so this will be k frame, k num frames, and this will be 6. So this will be k FPS and k num frames. And then finally we need to initialize size. And that's it. So I'm going to build it to make sure I typed everything out correctly. F7 to build. And too many initializers on line 9 because I didn't make it an array. Update must return a value and collision rectangle must return a value. So let's just put in a dummy value for return rectangle 0, 0, 0, 0. Let's draw our sprite in our draw method. So let's do sprite.draw, giving it graphics and our current position, which is kinematics x.position, and kinematics y.position. And then update is sprite.update, and we need to return a Boolean value, so let's just return true. Yeah, I think that's the bare necessities. So let's go into our game class, and we didn't actually end up implementing our pickups, so let's do that now. We'll go into game, include pickups plural, give ourselves a pickups, probably just after damage text is fine, pickups, and we'll need to update and draw. So let's do, inside of our update method, we can just update pickups after our damage texts, giving it elapsed time in milliseconds, and our map, which is a pointer. And then let's also draw it after our entities and before our players. So pickups.draw, giving it graphics. Now we can add a pickup and make sure that our Dorito is drawing correctly and updating correctly. So let's do pickups.add, giving a boost shared pointer to pickup. And we will create a new Power Dorito pickup, so let's include Power Dorito picked up. New Power Dorito pickup. This wants a graphics and what else? Center X, let's do 300 by 200 and a size type, so let's give it a size type of Power Dorito pickup. Small, and I'll bring this onto the next line and add another parenthesis. Build, should build correctly, and we should be able to see a rotating Power Dorito. Should be pretty cool. I don't see it. Okay, so I just realized what I did, and I paused the video to figure it out, but I'm coming back, and I forgot to convert my tile units to pixel units. So units tile to pixel, k source x, We should see it this time. And we do. Sweet. Whew. That's kind of a relief. So now let's implement the timer next.